But I want to ask you, Paul, specifically about that trip you did where everyone met up. What was that like, mate? It was too far for me to get down from Scotland, but I was like, oh, I wish I was there. But what was that like, meeting everyone?
That was one of the best things I've ever done in my life, man. Ever. Like, up to the night before, to be honest with you, I was nervous. I was thinking, do I really want to go through this? And I was even thinking of like, what could I say to not do this? Because one, I was scared in case it flopped, and I'm the only person there, you know, because obviously I've got, at the time, I think I had 45,000 subscribers. So they're waiting to see what happens. And so I'm under pressure. So I'm thinking, oh, what if this don't work out? All right. But when I got there, people had camped up the night before. People had come from your neck of the woods up in Scotland, mate. Yeah,
they should have told me.
Yeah, there was camper vans there, mate. And when I turned up, there's a big cloud of weed smoke. Mate, there was reggae music playing, and I thought, flipping hell, mate. People have camped up to see me. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that was a phenomenal experience. But the best thing about it was, mate, was being surrounded by people like-minded. Do you know that? Because normally, it's me and my girlfriend, like Bonnie and Clyde. But if I go to, for instance, say if I was at work, I can't have the conversation like me and you now having a flipping wicked conversation. I couldn't have this conversation with someone else, mate. It wouldn't even get into 3 or 4 sentences before we want to. I don't know. I want to go separate ways. You know, it don't happen. So to have that and to have that many people there thinking the same as me, well, not the same as me, thinking the same as us. You know, with the same minds. That was just phenomenal, man. And not only that, they were pointing out stuff that I'd missed. You know, I've been there so many times, but because there was 30, I think there was 32 people, which was, I could never have even thought that many people coming there, you know that. But so there's 60 eyes on all the stuff there. No, 60 different eyes. And some of the stuff they're pulling out, I was like, no, man, I didn't even notice this. So yeah, it was wicked. It was really wicked. And like I said, networking, there's doctors there. There's like engineers, mechanical engineers. It's just like people from all different backgrounds. You know, it was wicked.
That must be good for you to feel that as well, because you do have a lot of people from different backgrounds. I've seen some of your comments where there's people that work in the industry and they're going, you're onto something here. I can't tell you what. I've seen some of your comments and they're like, I can't tell you why. I'll email you. I'll do this. I'll do that. Like,
I get it. I get a lot of archaeologists. Well, not a lot. Sorry, that's a bit of exaggeration. I've had a handful of archaeologists come to me and say, mate, I think you're spot on with what you're saying here, by the way. Literally just one sentence in an email. I think you're spot on here, by the way. I know I am. And like I said before, there's some people that, because they've been taught that, they've gone through school, they've gone through college, and they've gone to university to study a specific topic, that if you go and challenge that topic to them, they're going to defend it till they die, because like they've give up their life to learn that. So did you get what I'm saying? Like that's their belief system. So you can't challenge that whatsoever. But some of these people have emailed me saying, yeah, spot on. They're absolutely spot on. See, man, I'd never survive at university, man. Never. I couldn't. If I see something wrong, I have to point it out straight away. Not because I'm that character, because I want an answer. If that's wrong, then what's the real answer? Yes, you know what I mean? That's yeah.
You're a true explorer, mate. And I think that from my experience with you, your community has been built up from so many white people. You get some people that have been looking at truth for a load of years and stuff like that, and they get what's the word I'm looking for? You become like not a one-track pony, but you become centered on one particular area. And for you, you're looking for answers, man. So this is why you have so many varied vids as well. It's not just about tunnels. It's not just about catacombs. It is lately, but
that's the topic I'm on at the minute. Yeah, that's the topic I'm on at the minute.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know,
everybody knows this. We're following the journey.
I was on geopolymer for a good few months. Now I've got that under my belt. I've moved on, but I will still talk about geopolymer because it's something that I can now point out to everyone. You know. So yeah, so it's just about adding.
It's all relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just about adding experience. This is another thing that when I was learning to be a plumber, the geezer that taught me plumbing, like an actual teacher, he said one thing to me, and when he said that to me, like it stuck with me, and I've literally lived my life by this. And he said to me, like we're talking about an S-plan plumbing system, like and like and he's teaching to me, and he said, listen, mate, you're never gonna be able to work on any plumbing system unless you understand it. And I thought, fucking hell, you're right. And he said in life, he goes, you're never going to be able to you're never going to be able to fix anything in life unless you understand it. And I thought, yeah, that is absolutely spot on. So since I heard that, I wanted to learn everything. So in my mind, I thought, well, if I learn that, then I'm not going to have a problem with that. You know what I mean? If I learn how to cook, I'm not going to have a problem with cooking. If I learn how to manage my money, I'm not going to have a problem with managing money. If I learn how to do plumbing, I'm not going to have a problem with plumbing. So anything that I wanted to learn, I went and learned it. So I can just have no problems dealing with anything to do with that topic. And that's
Doesn't that make sense what you've said?
Yeah, but that's because that one geezer told me that at college. He said, yeah, it's just stuck with me. Even now, it still resonates. You will not be able to fix something unless you understand it. Simple as that, mate. It's as simple as that. How are you going to go and fix a plumbing system if you don't know the valves in it are broken, or you don't even know where to look for the valves? You know what I mean? Like, you need to understand something before you can fix it. So that's one thing. Like, I have to understand something before I can even speak about it. And that's probably why I never done videos and talks like this now until like a couple of months ago, until I've got everything right in my head what I needed, until I had it solid, because I didn't want to splurt out crap, you know what I mean? And do you know another thing? People make videos of me, mate, little clips. Have you seen them? People
no, mate, I've seen your clips.
Yeah,
but...
so this is my point. So people make little clips of what I say, but that's why it's so important that I get it right, you know? Like, people are making clips, oh, Paul Cook said this, Paul Cook said that, and there's a little 2-minute clip of me saying it. And you think, cool, if I'd have said that wrong, that would have been completely wrong information.
Well, this is a good thing that you're honest, and a good thing you're your heart and your soul.
Yeah,
because they can't clip you and put it out in a bad way. They can only clip you. And
that's it. And obviously, I wanted to get it all right. Yeah, I wanted to get everything right about the geopolymers and everything I was saying before I come out on camera and started talking about it like that. So I had to understand it. So I've literally just been learning everything in the background, behind the scenes.
Mate, you can tell as well. You can tell because you're Fidzek and you bring. I don't know the best way to describe this, but you bring an understanding to everybody from a normal level, mate. It's not even normal. It's because it's not normal because everyone would be thinking this way, but it should be normal. Like, and the way you explain things, it's down to earth's not good enough word for it, but it's on the level, mate. That's the word. It's on the level. You reach out to people and you're explaining it as it is, and you're going through the journey, and we're with you on the journey, and that's what's so important to people, I think, because that's why people are into Paul Cook, because we are on the journey with you, and it's epic, mate. It's epic.
And the other thing is, if I'm describing something, I try and describe it in the most basic form, not because we're stupid. It's just because it's the easiest way to absorb information. You know, like if I tell you something, like the best way you're going to take that in is for me to tell you the simplest way of it. You know, and I know that. And even though I say I've got all this knowledge and all this blah, 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 sometimes I can be a plonker, you know, and sit there and think, oh, right, I don't get it. You know, so everyone is like that. But that's my point. I try and lay it down in the most basic form. If I can understand it, you can understand it. That's the way I see it. If I can understand what I'm saying here, then anyone watching this will absolutely get it. And that's how I want it to be.
I love it how you've just said that, because it's true. That's what you project out, mate. That's what we see. But another thing you just did, and you did it live, you're like, sometimes I say this and I sound like a plonker, and you are a real dude. This is what the world needs. They need real people. That's in my opinion. We need real people, real experiences. We've all been through stuff. Probably if we look back through our histories, there's going to be some key points where things didn't go right for us, which is why we turned out this way and questioned stuff. But mate, you're a real guy doing real things, and you're accountable to yourself. Like, you say the right things in case you get clipped. You just said it there. Sometimes I say things I'm a plonker. We all do, mate, and that's what makes us real. These other people, the scripted celebrities, the mainstream and everything, they're not real. I know you sound mad, but they're not genuine. They're genuine. That's the word. You're genuine. And it comes across, Paul, 100% in your videos, mate. It really does. It's
like that geopolymer one. When I made that granite, there was so much science in that video, and I had that information 2 months before, but I couldn't make that video until I had it set in stone in my head, the process and all the terminology and everything, because I couldn't, like, if I said one word wrong in that video, then people are using the wrong ingredients. Like, it's just gonna be a mess up. So I had to get all this scientific terminology right in my head. I had to learn the science. I had to learn basic chemistry just to convey this one video to people in the most simplest form possible. I did a full-on science experiment and science show in that video, but it is literally a kid could understand it.
Mate,
yeah,
it worked exactly. Like, and that's kind of my point as well with you, or one of the many points. Like, you're a plumber, you're a trained plumber, and we're going to these places underground, more to that, but you're explaining it in ways we understand. And even though most of the people who watch your vids will have seen you explain services, what services are, even in your most recent video, you said it again. You said services would be pipes or waters, and you know, it's perfect how you're doing it. You could explain it like a plumber and be very technical, but you're not. You're giving it out to everybody. It's almost like you're a preacher or a teacher, and it's great. It's great to watch, mate, because you give it like this on a level.
Like you just said, if I'd have went, you got an 8mm cable coming down there, 4-inch pipe, no one would know what I'm on about. No one would even have a clue. Or if I went, you got galvanised stainless steel coming down there and it's 2-inch, people wouldn't have a flipping clue. So, and I know that for a fact. So I literally speak. That's my cat, in the most layman terms, and it's not a patronising way. It's because that's how I know I'd understand it if I weren't me. That's it.
Well, here's another thing that gives you a big tick there, mate. What do experts usually do? The opposite, don't they? It's all big terms, big words, big confusion. That's
one thing I can't stand, man. I can't. If I'm trying to learn it, give it to me the easiest way. Don't make things complicated for me, because it's already hard learning something. You know what I mean? You don't need to put in all these words and make me look up other stuff. Like, literally, if you want to teach something to someone, you can literally write it down in a paragraph. You know, you could literally, like, the basics of it in a paragraph, you know? And then with that, they can go and do their own research. But like you said, these people, they throw in the longest words possible. They do sentences like so long you forgot what they said at the beginning, and you're thinking, oh, bloody hell, man. If you start recording stuff, writing stuff down, and it's just much. Simplicity is easy.
A lot of it's done like that on purpose as well, especially with the financial world. They layer things in with big terms and things like that. So people do get confused and they just go and sign stuff and things like that. So I've noticed that in the financial sort
and health as well. Money and health.
I've not seen a doctor in 2 years now.
Well, like, I went to the doctor last year because I thought I was a celiac issue. Actually, I thought I was a celiac. I had a problem going on, and when I went to the doctors, and I was also getting cannabis prescribed as well. So for me to get that prescribed, I had to go to my doctors and get medical history. So I went to get the medical history, and they give it to me on one page. There was nothing. It was just one page, and I've been to the doctor that many times. It was on one page. And when I went there, wow. I hadn't been to the doctor since I was 15, and obviously I was 37. I was like, "What have you been doing?" And I mean, you've been keeping well, haven't you? And I was like, "Yeah, I know." I know.
Wow. Did they say that? Did they actually say that?
They said that well. To me. Yeah, they've been keeping well, haven't you? But I've never been there so much in the last 3 months. Like, I mean, it's because. Oh, I don't know what's going on, mate. There's something going on, but it's not bad because I'm not dead. But it's just, thanks, not right.
So, I think you need to get back to Malta, mate.
Yeah, that's what it is, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Your heart and soul might be missing Malta. That's what it might be.
Yeah, that's what it is, mate.
Get out to that sunshine. But saying that, like, jokes aside here, I knew guys out in Spain who were like elderly guys, and they were told by their doctors back in the day, get out to a warmer country, you'll live longer. Get out to it. That's what they used to say to them. And I was like, are you serious? They're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And he had a few years left in. I think he's probably still alive now, chilling. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Good. So sunshine has a lot. England's a horrible country to live, though, man. It really is. Like, I don't know. Scotland probably can't be that much far from it, to be honest with you. I mean, like, it's just a miserable place. It really is. It's nice in the summer. Like, if you've got clear blue skies and the sun's out, it's all right. But 10 months of the year, it's miserable, mate. It is miserable. And in Malta, you get 300 days of sunshine. So.
Oh,
I know, mate. I know. I mean,
mate, I'm booking a holiday to Malta ASAP, mate. I'm not even joking. ASAP. I need to.
When I get there, man, we'll meet up out there, mate. Definitely meet up.
Do a live podcast.
Yeah. We'll have a palm tree in the background, mate. We'll be sitting in our sunglasses.
I might not want to come back, mate. I might want to stay out there. Honestly, it's absolutely epic. But I think sometimes that may help. But again, I'm not a doctor. But it's strange because I've got a couple of other friends who've never been to doctors for years. Not as long, 22 years like you, but 5 years and that. And they've had to see the doctor a few times this last year as well. But luckily, it's not for anything that's been in the press or been in the media or any of the nonsense. It's been for actual real things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what it is yet, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It's not killing me, so that's all right. That's the main thing.
Get out to Malta. I'm not going to stay here because I don't want to be the guy that says, but what's the healthcare like out in Malta, just out of interest? Is it private out there, or is it, how does that work?
I think it's because it's Brexit. Because of the Brexit, I don't know how that stands. But when we was in the European Union, it was like I was not a Maltese citizen, but I had just as much rights as getting healthcare as a Maltese person. So it was
Did you have a card? Did you have like a social security card thing?
Yeah, it was sort of like that. Yeah, I had a residential card, which means with that you do get your healthcare and you get other things that you're allowed to do. Like as you're not a Maltese resident, but you're like a sub-resident, if that makes sense. Like I haven't got full residency. Yeah, I haven't got full residency. I think that takes 5 years, but you can get given a residency card where you can apply for jobs, you can apply to live, and you can get healthcare and shit like that. So I had that, but I was only there a couple of years.
Mate, I bet you can't wait to get back. Before, something else I needed to ask you as well, because we were talking about this. I love how this is flowing, by the way, so I hope you're all good with this, Paul.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
The next trip in the UK that you're doing, because you said there was 32 people that came to that one. When's your next one you're doing? And have you got any ideas of where it's going to be?
Yeah, I have. Right, so, all right, this is the sad thing is it might not be this year now, because obviously this time of year in England, the weather goes downhill. It's like dramatically. So if I was going to do it, and I was mentioning it's going to sound a bit of a punchy thing to do, but when I'm going to Malta, I wanted to do a tour when I come back, as in like England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland, you know, and just for an excuse for me to go to these places as well. Basically, I can kill about 3 birds with one stone by doing that. I can go and see people that want to see me. I can go and meet people like you, Matthew, that we've conversed online, that we need to meet like in person. Because one of the places that I want to go to, I don't know where you are, but Edinburgh is on my list. If you can get to Edinburgh, that'd be flipping amazing, because I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do in Edinburgh, and also I'd like to arrange people from Scotland, like that want to meet, because there's a few people up there, man, and I think it'd be amazing, because it means a lot. I mean, when someone used to write back to me, this is another thing. When someone used to write back to me before I'd done YouTube, oh my god, if they write back to me, hi. So I know that feeling. Even though I'm just a box standard geezer, I know that. But people I know that feeling. So I don't mind giving that to other people, and I want to go up there and I want to see the people. But it probably won't be till May next year, probably.
That's good though, because it gets people time to
for
it. So it's a UK tour, Ireland, Wales, Scotland. That's what you want to do, mate.
Yeah, definitely,
mate. If I can help in any way, let me know, man. And 100% there's stuff up here, but it's no good going in the rain.
A lot of stuff up there. You've got. There's a lot of stuff that I've noticed, and like I said, you've got this layer, and this layer's poking out in. This layer's exposed in Edinburgh as well. I've noticed where this golden layer, it's got the golden nuggets in it. So that's one of the places. I'm also, like it says, I'm going on a boat underground again, underneath Birmingham. Yeah,
Birmingham. That's where I'm from, man.
Is it
underground in Birmingham?
Yeah. So I'm going underground on the rivers in Birmingham this weekend.
What, on the canal systems? And
yes.
Mate, they're a bit epic. I've been on the canal systems there. Yes, mate. It's. I think it's the second largest, or
I think it's
Europe or something.
Yeah, it's meant to be the largest.
Is it the largest?
Yeah.
I didn't know whether Venice was, but mate, it's epic. And I always wondered, on earth did they do this? Why? I get why. We were taught in school that, and it's a big thing in Birmingham when I was younger, because it's Birmingham, so about how all the products used to be moved up the canals and stuff like that from area to area. But my brain was thinking, well, surely you'd have canals going all the way up to Scotland then, and after.
Yeah.
Why would you just build it here and then stop there and then use the horse and cart? So that's what my brain used to think. But
even at young
whatever it is, it's epic, man. So you're going to be doing live recording there?
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing live. I'd love to do a live there. I'd love to do it, but it's the phone reception. If the phone reception's crap, it's going to be a very poor quality picture. I'm going there to film and gather as much evidence as possible. Apparently, there's mines coming off of these canals and all sorts of stuff under there. So we're going to see what's happening.
You see what you found in Nottingham? Like, I think you've only just touched the surface. I think you're going to go from city to city and find
That's
more.
what I'm doing in Liverpool, Matt. That's what I'm doing in Liverpool. What I've done in Nottingham, I've discovered the same in Liverpool. I just need to go around and film these 4 places, and I'm going to put it onto a map so you can see that. But I can, on this map, you can go, right, that's there, and that's there. That's going to be in this next video. But I'll have the information on there, man. And I'm going to be showing the world, not the world, my subscribers, this golden layer that's buried. In Liverpool, it's sandstone.
There's a question for you then, and this is just a guess for you at the minute. Do you think that all of these cities, that like the one in Nottingham, Liverpool, do you think they were all linked up somehow?
Definitely linked up. I think the possibility by canals, because when I was looking at, you can go to Liverpool, you can go to because I was looking at canals yesterday. You can actually go from Liverpool. It's not far, but Liverpool to Manchester on a canal, and you just went. You can't go from Birmingham to Scotland, but you can. I think you can go from Birmingham to other places. You know, I think they linked up by waters. That's what I believe they linked up by. But
into rivers.
Yes, into rivers. But I don't know if I know there's hard to say because I haven't seen it, but I expect there to be networks of tunnels long distance from, say, Scotland to Birmingham or Liverpool to Scotland. I expect that to be true. I haven't seen it yet, but I expect it. But why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be?
Exactly. It's logic. You see, I said that way, and I thought you would, but you see when we've got motorways now, it's going to be the same as that, isn't it? They're going to be waterways linking and tunnels linking, you'd think, because it's logic. Like, you want to get from A to B.
But there's a certain picture. Yeah, there's a certain picture that I put in the last video, and it was underneath the Peak District, and it was a tunnel system, mapped out tunnel system, and it was identical, mate, to the London Underground. The way they'd done it, like the way like the tracks met other tracks, and it was under a whole network of mountains, and it was just like the London Underground.
That's all I want to do with this, and link up the right people and get like another side out to people. And believe me, man, I like, there's certain bits for this where I'm like, oh my god, that was epic. And I know it sounds weird, but maybe it's just my crazy brain. But mate, you've said a lot of
man. I'm glad you're happy with that, because to me it's just normal. It's not normal. Like, it's just, this is the other thing that I find it hard to accept. Like, see how you're so happy, but I'm not. Like, I just find it strange. Like, I just find it very strange that people are interested in me. That's very strange.
But mate, that's good. That's good that you feel like that. I'm glad. You know, it's amazing. People are happy to talk to me, and they want it, mate. That's what I want to portray through this.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's the real side. Real people is want to put on Get Chatty with Matty and show the real side. Content creators, show the real side of everyday people. You've nailed it in this one. There's certain parts in this where I know people are going to watch and go, fucking real as that guy. I was just having a chat, and every single one of you has said the same thing after. It's just like a normal chat.
Yeah, it is.
And that's exactly
that's how it should be anyway. That's how it should be, man. I'm glad you're happy about it.
Like, he's on the level. And I know you are, but it's like the sincerity. Like, there's certain questions I ask in a certain way because I kind of know the answers, that how they're going to come out. I don't know the specific answers, but I know they're going to be real answers from you. And there's certain things I've asked throughout this. Not that I've pre-thought, it just naturally flows. And give the answers, mate, and comes from your heart. And I know people are going to see that. I
only speak from the heart, man. You don't get caught out. I'm a real guy, and I don't sound like, but yeah, it's always from the heart, mate. Otherwise, it's not true to me.
You can tell as well.
You have to keep checking yourself as well. Like, if you're a liar, you have to keep checking yourself, and you get caught out. And I ain't that character.
Paul, I promise you, man. I've worked in the financial world, so I know all about lying cunts and stuff, man. And the stuff, even though this is recording now, the stuff I've seen, mate. Like I've seen one of the biggest newspapers in the UK literally sell a bullshit story for a celebrity. This is like 12 years ago, and I was like, holy fuck, these cunts are corrupt, man. I mean, I was in Spain going to my lawyers with the same lawyers offices, gangsters, criminals, politicians, footballers, fucking the same lawyers, man. You know what it's like in Malta, it's the same.
Yeah.
And if a lawyer's good, the lawyer's good. And it blew my mind, man. And when I saw this particular story being sold, and it was a celebrity that lied and said, I bought a property here, I did this, I did that. I was in the office, man. I was there watching this happen, and they were paying the fucking newspaper company 50 grand a month. 50 grand a month this company was, to get these fake stories to put in so people would buy these properties. And I was like, I'm fucking, these cunts are bad, man. And
yeah, that's bad, man.
I spent a lot of time looking at these bastards, man. And I had a lot of people out in Spain, so a lot of normal people. And, you know, I'm a bit wooing way, obviously, because of where I'm from, but I'm not no hard man or anything. I'm just, I was the guy that could fix stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was that guy. If there was mobile phones to be had, I was that guy. I've got call that company now, 50 phones for all of us, let's go. I was that guy that flooded the area with good ideas. If there was a bar that was giving out free stuff, we'd all be there. Do you know what I mean? Call Matt, he knows how to get fake oil. So that was me. That was as far as I went. But obviously I knew people like that. But the amount of people I've grown up with who are thinking like us now, mate, is it's encouraging. It's encouraging.
Yeah, it's getting a lot better. It's getting a lot better because, like you just said, like, even I'm not who I was 5 years ago, but I was still that sort of character, but not as deep as I am now. But then people weren't even interested. They just hear a couple of words that you're saying and like, he's fucking crackers, mate. He's absolutely fucking. I ain't going near him again. He's talking shit. Have you heard that Paul Cook? He's talking about fucking it, and you think, oh my god. Like, do you know how many fights I nearly had on a building site? Just fucking hell, man. So much beef with like conflicting opinions, just opinions, conflicting opinions, mate.
Do you know what that was though? In my opinion, that was your training ground, mate.
Yeah, it was.
That was where you were. Because we've all done it. Like, we've all done what you're like. This is another thing. You see some of your stories that you tell. They're not the specifics, like not being in Malta, not going under tunnels and that, but the way you think, the things you go through, the way you portray it, it's from your own experience. And even though you haven't told everyone that you used to spend hours on a building site arguing with people, that comes out in the way you say it. That comes out in your info. And that's me being deadly serious. Like, and it does with all of us. Like, your experience of what you've gone through to get here is how you present stuff. And you don't need to tell people that. I mean, you can all you want. It's up to you, but it comes out, mate.
Another thing that I've done, Matty, is when I was younger, I used to be a right little shit, mate. A real naughty little adolescent kid. Really fucking naughty, right? How can I say this? From 14 till 20. And I went to prison as a juvenile, and I spent a lot of time in probation services. So I've done a lot of programming, a lot of programs, and they were programs on thinking skills and things like that. And even though they sound pathetic, I still use all them techniques they taught me from them. And it's how to think and how to do things correctly. Even at the time, I was like, these cunts are just programming me. But I've took everything they've done and I use it every day now. And even in situations, the thinking skills they taught me, like, it's fucking phenomenal, mate. Like, if I weren't a criminal, I'd have never been put in them rooms and brainwashed in that way to think the way I do now. I promise you, that's part of it. That is part of it, man.
Oh, you see, Andy, who was on last, on number 2, he talked about that as well. This will be in his uncensored bit that I can only put on Telegram because of shit he talks about. I couldn't put it on there. But he says the same thing. He talks about how prison, he went for 3 years and it changed his life. And I grew up with him, so I know exactly what it was like. I was lucky that I never went to jail, man. I was so lucky, because the stuff I was involved in, nowadays, if I was doing that, it's big time in prison.
Yeah.
Big time. You're defrauding against government and stuff like that. But back then, it was hardly a fucking thing, because everyone was too busy looking at drug dealers, carjackings, armed fucking vans getting robbed and all that kind of stuff. So people who were doing stuff with companies, finances and stuff like that, it was the lowest part back then. But you see now, it's all flipped. Yeah. To anyone involved in financial stuff, you're at the top. But every single person I speak to that I've known says the same thing, Paul. There's something they've learned from when they went through that experience. There's something that's helped them to be better. And going back to what we were talking about earlier about adversity, and they can't not know that this would happen. They can't not know that if you put a million people in poor areas and then this happens, that you're going to get 10,000 that are going to elevate.
They know all the statistics. They know everything. They know the outcome to all the little alleyways they could do, all the little options they've got. They know the outcomes to it. So people that have been to prison and all stuff like that, right? It's like this. It's like this. This is the way I see it. If you're born, you go to school, you go to college, you go to university, you then get your mortgage. Yeah, that's like the American dream, the English dream, and all that bollocks. Them people that do that are the most programmed people. They probably watch fucking EastEnders at night. They probably put the fucking Big Breakfast on in the morning, GMT, and all that bollocks. And then you got people like me, probably you. Like, you've gone to school. You didn't really think much of it. You think, well, this is a load of fucking bollocks. You've left that. You've gone and done your own shit. With that being said, what I'm trying to get is you haven't been programmed. You've come off track. So we've been off track. We've gone and done our own programming. These people have stayed on track and been programmed one way. Do you know what I mean? And that's the way they're like that. We're like the way we are because we come off track and we started thinking for ourselves. That's how it is.
It's spot on. And I don't mean to, like, we've all been in narcissistic situations in our life. We've probably all been, I know I've been narcissistic. I was around a lot of narcissistic people growing up. So I do understand. I'm not saying I agree with how they think, but I do understand that kind of way. And I can't help but get away from the fact that someone somewhere has programmed and created this on purpose to create people like you, to create people like me, to create other people. And I know that sounds out there to some people, but it's a logical process of doing all of these things. It is a cause and effect. The effect is you're going to get a small group of people that are going to be stronger willed, stronger minded, stronger anything, and have said no to the system the whole way along. It's almost like sometimes I look at it and think this is the entire plan. They've been doing their best to create this situation so a small group of people become the strongest possible willed people out that do not take shit. And then my next question is, if that's true, why?
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Mate, what you're saying, I think it's like pretty much how I think, mate. It's pretty much what I'm thinking. And why? Why are they doing this? Why have they let it run out? Why have they let it play? Why have groups of people like that? I think it's because they can have diversity and you can sit there and go, oh, well, look, you can point fingers at other groups. That's what I think it is. So there's no other, what other reason is there for it?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, I can't, but we know that's what's happening because we live in it. But why?
To me, it seems like some kind of experiment of sorts, or because there's certain things that, like, I understand from my financial background, you understand from your discovery background, other people understand from their backgrounds, and it all leads to the same thing. It's like, this seems to be some kind of, I mean, you could imagine them doing an experiment like this on mice, for example. You know, let's put 1,000 mice in a cage, in a thing. We're going to stress them all out. Whichever mice are the ones that are strongest, we're not just going to stress them out in a physical way. We're going to stress them out in a mental way. I mean, there's even a book to do with mice finding their cheese or something that I read, which is quite interesting. But it just seems like an experiment that would be done, and the effect of that is a group of people who just say no matter what. I'm not interested in your nonsense, man.
You know what? I always say that. I've always been saying that to my bird mate, that we are some form of experiment. But we are, and it's a psychological thing. It's a physical thing. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed it, but when I go on Instagram now, I keep getting things of people, they're testing for lungs. They want to test your lungs for some reason. And I think, like, why, like, adverts keep coming up on my thing about testing lungs. Like, we want to take X amount of people from the public and test their lungs and see what happens. And I thought, why the fuck would you want to do that? Like, what have you been doing to us, for you, to want to go and see what's been going on in our lungs recently? You know, it's like we're an experiment. That's pleased. And you've got people like fucking Bill Gates and all them lot. They're the ones. Oh, how can I describe this without saying? It's like you've got the people that control this fucking farm. I call it a farm, mate. Each country is its own farm, you know, and they've got their own little rules in the farm. And then you've got someone like Bill Gates. Yeah, I don't believe these cunts are human. I don't believe it one bit. How can these people be human and treat other humans like that? You know, I don't know if you know, I don't know how deep you go into these geezers, but like, the geezer owns 1,000th of America. Like, if you split America up into 1,000 pieces, Bill Gates owns 1,000 of it, and that's the farmland. And he's literally trying to get everyone onto bloody fake meat. You know, and you think, like, What is the
Right.
plan? What is the agenda behind this? So this is my point. He's just a face of an operation going on. So, which is beyond us. Like we're not even meant to know that shit, what's ever going on. We're just meant to live our life like it's going on, like you're born, you die, and all the shit in between. And you've got people like Bill Gates coming in, jabbing us, giving us certain foods, telling us where to live, pushing in putting people into certain areas. You know, in my eyes, we are 100% an experiment. 100%.
Mate, the way you just described it there, wow, because it really is. And it's interesting because I wasn't even going to speak to you about this side of things. I was just going to let it flow, but it is just flowing. This has just come out now, so it's obviously the right thing to be talking about, and you think similar. And when you described it there, Bill Gates owns 1,000th of the American farmland, and they're doing this to certain people here. They're putting plastic food, meat in for food, and the fake meat, whatever. It's like a giant experiment. It really is. And I like how you called it farms as well. Different countries are different farms, because you're actually you're the first person I've spoke to. Now, I'm pretty sure others will think this as well, but you're the actual first person I've spoke to about this who's actually agreed and said, well, you're thinking similarly yourself. And I think more people are going to start looking at this. I think this vid could be a bit epic, this part in this vid in the future, because a year ago when I was posting that on Telegram, there was no interest at all. Everyone was like, you are off your head. At the same time, I was telling people that there'll be no mass mandate there'll be no NHS for jabs in the UK. And they were like, you're mental. What are you talking about? Because it was coming up to Christmas. Boris was on TV. And at that point, they were saying that unboosted are overwhelming the hospitals. And that's when I put my hand up and went, unboosted? What about the unvaccinated? And I was trying to highlight to people, I was like, where have we all gone? Why have we been left alone? And it switched to unboosted quick. And that shows me from a sales and marketing background that was their heavy focus. And if it was a true virus, they wouldn't have been talking about unboosted at all. They would have been saying unvaccinated right to the last minute, unvaccinated.
I'm expecting to see, and I've seen through statistics in the news, not the news, the newspapers and that there's this excess people dying. Like, I don't know if you've seen all this, man, like 25% in England, it's gone up. Like 25% of excess deaths. That's in the thousands. Like why aren't people questioning that? You know what I mean? Like, thousands of people are dying. Yeah, you've all been jabbed up. You've had half the world saying it's not real. Why ain't the other half like putting two and two together? You know, it's
I think it's what you said earlier. It's that tracked brain and also it's hard to believe. I mean, sometimes I try and put myself into the position of a vaccinated person. In my family, mate, most of the people are vaccinated. That's all of them on my English side. Every single one on my English side. And on my Scottish and Irish side, I don't know, because I'll be honest, I ain't called them all because I got a bit tired of calling people and they're saying they were vaccinated. But for some of these people right now are not going to want to look at it, mate. They're not going to want to. I mean, how would we feel? How would I feel right now? How would Matty Moore feel?
I'd be embarrassed. You'd be embarrassed, mate.
Embarrassed, shocked. You wouldn't want to believe
down.
it.
Like, you put your hope and heart and soul into the government, and they've just done all that to you. And like, you're going to watch it all unfold. Like, exactly. You're going to feel like you don't want to be part of any of that no more. But the best thing to do is bury their head and get on with it and act as if they were right. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
And I also think, see, if we're right to this being a major plan and it's in stages and the plan was to create stronger willed people, they're going to give us adversity too. And I spoke to my mate, Pete. It's so weird how we're having this conversation, because Sam Fisher, the first podcast, he was talking a little bit about that, and I'm getting him on again, and he's going to talk about. I'm going to get him to talk about that as well. Andy C, 100% the exact same as you, how it's destroyed systems when they've had it, and now you're talking about it as well. I think that if this plan is what I think it is, where they're going to start, where they wanted to create a group of people who are strong-willed, the next stage for this and the marketing side or the media is they're going to be starting to pump this out, what's actually happened, mate. And because they want the heads to spin, they want people's heads to spin for whatever reason. And whether we like it or not, going back to that first story where we were speaking about my nan, might be in a situation where we're looking around at everything and that may be the thing where you don't talk about your parents or where your parents from in the 1800s, because they might have done something like this before, mate.
Definitely, mate. 100%. I think it's just they know the script, and they know the script, know the outcome, because they've done it loads and loads. They've done it time and time again, mate. Time and time again. It's the same script getting played out over different people from different generations. That's what I think. That's what I think.
And I think that what they're going to do is they have to reveal it. And some people say, oh, it's because of the different cults they're in and stuff like that. For me, I kind of step out of that, because I'll give you a little background to this, a little story. When I discovered loads of stuff about 12 years ago, I was always into things like this, and I didn't leave. This is a true story, Paul. I was over in Spain. I didn't leave my office for 3 months, apart from to go to the shop and back. I slept in there, mate. I was that freaked out by all the information I'd read. I was living in Spain, seeing that story about earlier with the stories being sold to the newspapers for 50 grand a month, and celebrities, real celebrities, saying they did this and they did that. And researching myself, I was like, "Woof! This I couldn't go out for 3 months."
It's too much for your brain.
Do you know what happened? This is what happened. One day, I woke up and I said, "Hold on a minute. You've been here for nearly 3 months, mate. You're still alive. For some reason, you've discovered all this stuff that is potentially going to happen. Agenda 21 and all this stuff that they're talking about, they might be doing. And you're still alive, mate. So for some reason, you're going to keep existing. So if you keep waking up every day, just keep going on your pathway no matter what, just like you have throughout your whole life." And that was 13 years ago. That was, weirdly enough, 13 years ago, just before I got married. And I was freaked out, man. And then I was like, hold on a minute, I'm still alive. And I've kept that mentality as much as possible. Since then, if I keep having to get up every day and keep having to do things, I'm just going to keep going and do that to the fucking system.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
you.
it, man. That's it.
And just keep going. And that's helped me personally. But having said all that, I can't help when I'm looking at this that the next stages are coming where they're going to reveal all the they really are. And I've said this to a lot of people, that whether it's a cult thing, whether it's part of the plan, but whatever, step outside the box. The next stage for me is they're going to reveal everything that's happened, and they're going to throw so many people under the bus.
Mate, I hope they do, though. I hope they do. Because that proves us right. It proves us right, and all them people that doubted us. Well, what you got to say now?
But I think that's part of the plan, Paul. I actually think that's part of the plan, and it's almost like maybe I don't listen. I'm just going to go for it. It's you mess all this up here over here, and you show everyone the WEF, the horribleness, and then you go another little group down here goes, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to do it all, smash them to bits, get rid of them, and get rid of the tech companies and the way they run things and everything. And everybody just formulates to this bit here and goes, yeah, we love this one. But then you're going to have us lot, all of us people, and we're going to be like this. Listen to me. We're happy to sign up to this, but you need to be accountable to us, because we don't want that to happen again. So we don't want this situation all of a sudden becoming, we can't speak, we can't use free speech, we can't do that, because you're saying, oh, we don't want to get back to the tech ways. And I don't know whether that's part of the plan too, whether they know that we're going to be like that, or whether that's an after effect of it, because we're not going to let them get us to that point without them being accountable, because I don't want to go back to this nonsense. Here's another thing. I want to live a long time. I've put a lot of work into this life, mate. I've gone through stuff. I want to be here for years and years and years, and I want to enjoy what we've all done here, man. So for me, I ain't interested in signing up for another lesser thing that's going to equal that again. And I know, mate. And I think we're the guys, you, me, others, who are going to hold people accountable. Normal, real, genuine guys that are going, hold on a minute, let's think outside the box here. We're just stepping from A to B, and it could be the same, so what is it, into the fire, into the frying pan, whatever. And there's going to be people like us that are going to hold it accountable, the new system. But I think that's where they're going, mate. I think the reveal is coming. I think they're going to chuck everyone under the bus, because it's impossible logically not to happen because of the paper trail. Yeah. Every single person that's been paid off, there's a paper trail, whether they like it or not. Bitcoin and all this is, I'm into crypto. I've predicted every single Bitcoin dip, as you know, mate, and the only person in the world. And I'm not saying that to give me props and to
have you earned money out of crypto?
Yeah, man. I started with 40 quid.
Really?
I'm not even joking, mate. And I've pulled out hundreds and hundreds. It's put coins at cheap. I've saved people from investing in Bitcoin. See, when Bitcoin was 30 grand, I was getting messages from people that I knew saying, I'm going to buy Bitcoin now because it's gone down from 60 to 30. And I said to them, please watch my manipulation theory video, what I put out in November. They watched it, they come back to me. And I said to them, I said, if you buy Bitcoin, I'm never going to speak to you again, because I've told you what's happening. The manipulation that's going on here, who owns it, what's happening. And I've saved them. Now that's 17 grand, mate. People who are going to put their life savings.
So it went down again from 60 to 30 to 17.
Yeah.
So they'd pretty much lost half their money.
Yeah. Well, $60,000, when it was $60,000 a coin, that's when I put my video out and I says, this is going to go down, 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 down. It's never going to go back to what it was before. And the only reason is because they're trying to get their maximum sale out of it. So when you do a stock or a company, if you were to sell it all at once, not everybody will get the same amount, because the share price drops as people are selling. So the only way to get the maximum money out of this for the people that owned it, and Bitcoin was 40% owned by, it was owned by 40% was owned by a group of people, a handful of people, the Black Rocks, the people like that. That was years ago. It's probably more about 80%. The only way they can all get the maximum value is if a few of them sell at 60, drops down a bit. They need more people to get involved, pumps it up a tiny bit, a few more sell, drops down a bit. More people to get involved, they sell a bit, and it just keeps doing that. Now, if you track back from November to now, you'll see exactly what I said has happened.
So yeah, but the messed up thing is, mate, why don't other people block this?
Well, here's the thing, man. I've put out messages to Elon Musk and that as a little half a joke and half because if I was right on this, I thought people would be able to track back and go, hold on a minute, he's called it out. I put a message out in November saying, Elon Musk, if you put $1 million into Bitcoin or $1 million into Shiba Inu only needs to grow by a fraction for him to earn 2 million. Bitcoin needs to double and triple and for him to make the same money. And I've also put other posts out to him. There's no way he doesn't know this. There's no way financial people don't know this. There's no way they don't know this. There's no way, mate. There's people that know this. And I'm the only one that said it. I'm not even, man. And it just made logical sense to me. I'm looking at it going, they're gonna try and sell this. And it's the same as a company. They have to sell a bit, then get some unsuspected investors to jump on going, oh, the price is low. It's time it's going to go up again. They jump on, they sell some more, do the same again. Now, here's the weirdest thing. In November, when I put that video out, the next 2 months, $500 million was lost on Bitcoin because people were pumping it on the futures contracts. People were putting it in and it was getting sold off, mate, literally as it was coming in. And it's never been back to 60,000 since. And now it's at 17 grand in sterling.
Cool. I've never got involved in it, mate. I've never got involved. I've never understood it. It's just...
Well, I've told people how I do it is I tell people, but I won't talk too much about this because this is about you, dude, not me. But I tell people this is how you do it because I've been burned, mate. I'm a guy from Birmingham. I went to Spain with a black bag and a suitcase. I ain't joking, man. And turned it around, got scammed, did all sorts of stuff. Worked out the best way to do it, and then became a bit of a not a big face there, but a face that could help people with taxes, things like that. You know, when you're paying the government taxes, how to do that, and I helped a lot of people. And my brain started switching onto this stuff. And after I lost a lot of money, man. And it was the government that fucked me, the government, the gambling commissions.
Obviously, yeah.
Remember I said when I was younger, we used to do the financial stuff, getting the phones off companies, stuff like that, bank stuff, hotels, company. But now it's changed. And the police were in my house. They even said to me, they said, you could scalp us. The police said this. They said, you could scalp us. In Scotland, that means stick them. You could grab the chair, you could hit us over the head. And you probably wouldn't spend a night in jail. But he said, if you mess with the government, finances or anything like that, you're looking at 20 years, man. That's what they said to me in front of me. And my missus was listening. Yeah. I mean, basically what happened is we all made a load of money trading on sports, mate. Sports. Loads of us. And because we didn't pay taxes, we didn't have licensing fees, all that, they just hammered us. They hammered us back. It taught me a hard lesson, Paul. And this was seven years ago. It taught me a hard lesson. If I was in Spain, if I'd stayed in Spain, none of it would have happened. We would have been on our third fund. One would have been billionaires. We would have been laughing. But because I was in the UK, they hammered me like fuck. But I learned from that day, never put all your money into one basket. So bit of a long explanation here, but you see with crypto, mate, I put in 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, nothing big. Because see if it loses and it fails, I've only lost a couple £100, mate.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. And that's what I've had guys saying, I'm going to put $4,000 in. I'm like, why? Why are you going to put $4,000 in? If you lose that $4,000 tomorrow, you'll be wounded. Why don't you put 200 in? And they're like that. Fucking hell. I said, because if it's going to grow and shoot through the roof, you're laughing anyway. But if it doesn't, We're not 3-4 grand down. And that's how professionals used to invest. I know it sounds
That
strange.
makes sense, though, doesn't it? It makes sense.
Of course it does, but that's not what you see on the TV and then investing. It's like funds putting 500 million into this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
The whole system, to me, and this is why it's linking up with everyone, because we've all got these different aspects, man, and it all points to this. It's a load of nonsense bollocks that they're having us over.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100%. But it's in all departments, though, mate. It's in all departments. It's in any department you go in, we're getting fucked. And you don't notice it because you've lived it. You live in it. You carry on living that life. People in front of you have done the same thing. You just get on with it. So when you come out and step out and examine the situations, you think, fucking hell, we're getting fucked here. We're getting done. We're getting done up. And we're not being told the truth.
Definitely. Right, it's in every single department. This is what I love about all these different people. Like, people not to just talk about Get Chatty with Matty series, but I've got a lot of different people coming on from UK, the world, all focusing on different areas. And I found a common theme, and the common theme is it is, like you said, we're getting fucked in different angles, but it's in every department. And all of these people are in different departments. You're in one department, another. None of us like to be labelled, but we're focused on certain things. I'm looking at the financial side. Other people are looking at the wars, what's happening with that. It's something, and I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just excitable, but I think the future has a space for all us because we're the only real, genuine people.
Yeah, I do, man. I do. I honestly do think that. I didn't think that last year, but now it seems like I've pushed up through the daisies and I'm here. I'm like, well, if I've made it here, I must not be going anywhere because they'd have got rid of me a long time ago. That's the way I'm seeing it.
See what you just said there? That's something I'm not joking. Yeah, that's something I say a lot. You see, if something's going good and it keeps going, it's going to keep going. You're in the right place. But you see, if you've spent 20 weeks and it's not going anywhere, might be a chance to say, right, let's look at something else. And you've just nailed it. That's how I look at life. If it's so many things where I'm thinking there, it's going good, so I might as well just keep going with this because it's onto something.
Well, that's my philosophy of life, mate. Like, if something's not right, if I go and do something 3 times, I'm like, well, I'm not even meant to do that, and I'll just walk away from it. Like, even if it's something silly, like putting my coat on a hanger, and it don't go up there 3 times, I'm like, well, sorry, it wasn't meant to go there, and I'll put it somewhere else. Just even something basic like that.
Paul, I'm the same, mate. I'm not even joking you. I'm the exact same with that. It's like it's a sign to say, nope. I'll tell you something mad, yeah, right. This will make you laugh. This is the truth, and I don't know. I suppose I believe in spirituality a little bit. Well, I do, because there's certain weird things that have happened. But
yeah, same here, man. I do.
Something that, for me personally, I don't know whether it is spirituality. I personally think it is, but I think that there's something else there, man. Because sometimes these things happen, and there must be some kind of sequence or something that makes these things happen. So, for example, this really, really happened to me. I'm sat having breakfast one day in an outside restaurant, and I'm eating, and I'm thinking about something I'm going to be doing that day. I kid you not, this is the truth. Like, it was a trading thing I was doing, and this wasp flew down, and it would not let me eat my dinner. Then a bee came, and it would not let me eat my breakfast, and a bee came, would not let me eat my breakfast. And it was causing me more time to be able to do my trading thing. And that day, I forced it through. I went inside, ate my breakfast quick, went outside and did it. And that trading thing did not work that day. I shouldn't have done it. And I was being attacked by bees and wasps. Not personally, but they were trying to. And I looked back and I thought, was that something trying to stop me? Yeah.
As a sign. Yeah. And do you know what? I get stuff like that all the time. And it's not too after you think, oh, fucking hell, shit. Maybe that was a sign, and then you're shown that was a sign because it happens. You think, oh shit, I should listen to that next time. I get that all the time, man, all the time.
It's weird. And do you know something else I did as well? Like 5 years ago, I was working at this company, and it weren't going well at all, man. The guy was a shyster. He was just lying to everybody, all that kind of stuff. And usually, I'm on in 60 seconds from something like that. I sense it. I'm like, no, but. What I decided to do this one time, I swear to you, I did this, Paul. And I told my missus, I said, I always just fuck off when it starts getting shaky like that because I can sense it. I've been around too much of that, I know. But this time, I'm going to stick it out and see what happens. So I worked there for 4 extra months rather than leaving when I would have. And it was fucking terrible, mate. It was the worst 4 months ever. It was nuts.
You knew.
everything went wrong, but I did it just to test out what would happen. Okay, usually I fuck off this opportunity or something like this because alarm bells are ringing everywhere, but I'm going to stick this out for 4 months and see what happens. See if I'm wrong on that little thing I've been doing for years. Mate, I was not wrong. Oh, terrible. It was terrible. I won't even discuss the things that happened, but it was one of the worst periods of my life, man. I was like, wow. And I thought,
makes you feel better though, doesn't it? It makes you feel better. It makes you happy that knowing that you're on the right track and your instinct is right.
And I had to do that. I had to do that to know it was right because, I mean, this was 5 years ago. This isn't when I was a kid. I was 37 back then, 38. I was like, I'm just going to do this and see where it goes and see if I'm right on this, see if it does fuck up. Like 1,000 cards and a fucking house of cards for it. And I was like, that's crazy. So I've never done that again. Never ever done it again. It's the only time I've actually done that. And I thought, wow, because you look back, don't you, and you think, maybe if I stayed at that job 20 years ago, I maybe would have made some more. Maybe if I did this, I maybe would have made some more. But at the time, I left them all because I thought my insides are saying nope, 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 nope. My senses are saying no. So that's why I tried that line when I was 38 to go, let's see what happens. Mate, terrible. Follow your instincts. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I do. I always follow my instincts and I go with my heart, man. And then, yeah, you're always right.
So the insight thing you talked about, how much of that do you think has helped you with your vids, your Malta, your discovering? How much of the insight thing has been a help to you as well, do you think?
What do you mean the inside thing?
So your insight. So how much of your insight
my instinct.
Your instinct, how much of that do you think has been portrayed in your channel and your vids and everything?
A lot of it. I've always gone with my instinct, always. But the other thing is that like I said before, I like to soak up so much stuff so that I don't get things wrong. That's the other thing. So it's either my instinct or the knowledge. And if I go with my instinct, I'm normally right. But I like to fill up myself with loads of knowledge so that I'm guaranteed right, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mate, 100% it makes sense. And Paul, I can say, mate, so I want to say thank you very much to Paul Cook. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Bravo, mate. And I really want you to come on again. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
And like I said, we'll get a slideshow next time so we can show some stuff.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I'd like to do that actually. And if we'll get some things prepared so we can scroll through a few of your vids and ask you what certain things on that as well, that'd be get that done. I'm new to Zoom, so just getting used to this, but
I'm new to this,
ready
mate, anyway, so, yeah.
Looking forward to meeting you as well soon, Paul, man. Doing on one of these trips, that'd be epic. Thank you very much, Paul.
Big up, mate. Nice one, geezer. Take it easy, mate.
That was epic.
Yeah,